What I present is inspiration. Enemies. Hey, I'm Ray of Sunshine. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Well, if it's your first time, welcome. Hope to see you again. To see you again sometime.
I am Ray of Sunshine, and I am
as you may be aware. Well, if it's
could be way over your head. I am delighted that you're here with me. I am also amazing, and so are you. That's why. That's exactly why.
I use different formats
I want to take you on this
in
journey.
every single one of my sections, because my whole video presentation is a metaphor for life. And so now we're just entering
all you need to do is go back to some of those earlier videos, and I know you're going to say, well, of course you're going to say go back to some of your videos, and you want to, not for me, and you want to do
the LMN sections.
It's all there for you from the bottom of my heart.
As you may be aware, because the title probably says something, the title probably says...
going into the I am section.
N2, enemies, and let me tell you how I came up with it.
Now from the heavenly section, and you can see I'm all bright and cheery. I got some two-tone stuff going on.
I've been using, back in the M sections...
Transforming into the I am, figuring out who I am. So, on this journey, you're going to figure out...
My whole series is developed on the ABC theory. And so back in the M's, I introduced...
So just go back to video number 1, I am, while maybe figuring out who you are in the process.
The oracle format, and I'm using an oracle deck that's created by Margie, the high priestess.
So just go back to video number 1.
Channel, her YouTube name to YouTube.
Whatever point along
Margie got the
way
T.
That you can't resist and you can't hold out anymore. Then come back, and I'll see you back over here.
But she's still Margie, the high priestess.
Yeah. You know,
and she is the person who developed this particular deck. So I've been using it in different ways.
This whole video series is like over your head. Could be.
Right now is pick one of these cards at random. The ways I'm going to use it right now is to determine the topic of today's presentation. Enemies.
Slapped around, being kicked around. And, you know, I was kicked over and over again. I was kicked till I was down, and once I was down, I was kicked again. I kicked again and kicked again, and I have incarnated those stories in many of my of the divine previous videos.
But I'll tell you one thing for sure.
And that divine is what we are.
I'm going to talk about enemies, and that's the reason you're here, by the way, because I have enemies, you have enemies.
Shit.
You're going to learn some things about me, you're going to learn some things about you.
We're a spark off the old block.
And you know, enemies come in many different forms.
And sometimes it takes a little slapping around. That's what I see my situation as.
And they come in the form of people, places, things, form of thoughts.
For your heart. That's what it's here for. For your heart. You won't be able to get it past your expand. To discover you.
So, you know, we go through difficulties in life, we go through challenges, we go through trauma.
To love you.
In my video presentation, and
you won't be able to get it past your heart, because that's what it's here for your heart, to love you.
As we become exposed
to discover you. Hey, did somebody hand you this on a silver platter?
To those elements, we absorb some of them. We become that way. We become negative.
So you know, it was a difficult path.
That's the idea. That's the
idea to follow, and a difficult challenge to.
That's the idea.
Pull myself out of that situation.
Become critical. I went through, in a lot of my previous presentations, I talk about
exactly what this whole presentation is all about.
A particular trauma that I went through.
It's to show an injustice. It's to show an evolvement. It's to show criminal conviction for a sex offense that my husband Sid and I rising up were subjected to, realizing many years ago the royalty and that I served a sentence for that we are.
A situation where my husband Sid and I were falsely accused,
and then I'm still serving a sentence even after all this time, because in the entire trial,
inspiration to
for a capital offense
move past
lasted about an hour.
To rise above.
Guilty. Done.
To learn, falsely convicted of a sexual crime. And so we were, ostracized, hated, the lessons that those opportunities have presented to us, and it's not always easy. And that's what I show in my whole presentation. Working through that whole process, because now we're entering a different energy. This is the new world. This is our time to shine. This is our time to blossom. Judged, I show, belittled, that whole progression in metaphorical terms in my whole video presentation. Devalued. Is this working? If you're exposed to that sort of mentality, to those kinds of conditions, especially over a period of time, you start becoming that way. That's what happened. And so my enemies became... I think it's working. I don't know.
And healing the hurt.
My lack mentality.
I'm here to talk about
my thoughts about me.
Surviving the struggle. And wounds like that go so deep. And so I want to tell you, and it takes a long time to heal, and chances about that they last a long time, transforming.
That's what I show, because
and chances are you're still healing from your hurt into gain. Pain.
That past influence is what has contributed. So what happens is, even though the people or situations that originally caused the pain, the trauma, the hurt.
I love a smorgasbord, don't you?
It's playtime in your life. The loss.
If you've been to some of my before videos, then you know a few things about me. You're figuring me out, and
they may even have disappeared.
Create you
in the physical world, but it doesn't mean that they disappeared up here. That's a lot of what I talk about in my video presentation. It's a time to let go of all of that as opportunity or as detriment of all of that. And that's let go of the past. The past has served its purpose. The past, the difficulties of the past have been.
I would think they were thinking, I couldn't even answer the phone that way. When I answered the phone,
presented to us.
I'd say Ray speaking, because if I said Epicurean adventures,
that's the choice. So,
somebody there speaking a different language, and they'd hang on. So,
what I did, it was detriment.
Unnormal. A smorgasbord is, I'm unnormal, what I'm offering here. And I'm excited that you're here with me today. Smorgasbord, you can find everything from the simple. I hope you keep popping in every once in a while to stay in touch, because I have some exciting things going on. And some's going to appeal to you and some's not. So first thing I want to talk, there were I had several contenders for the title for today's video, but some unnormal obviously is the one that won, that I wanted to talk about, and that's going to be specifically about unnormal. You're going to find, because that's what
for a long time, until I was able to work through the process. What it is, what are the blessings that I can derive,
and maybe some that don't appeal so much,
from a challenging situation, from a challenging opportunity.
So you might want to go back there and check it out. While it's still free. My whole video presentation that depicts unnormal,
such as that major life event, which I talk about in a lot of my previous videos. It's back in my pilot video, which is 25 minutes and 26 seconds.
But, my goal is not... But it'll be informative. You're going to learn a lot of things about me, and you're going to learn a lot of things about you.
What it is that was there for me.
There was a method to my madness. And
send you back there.
I happen to know,
get all my points of view and say, oh yeah, I agree
that you are here
you, Ray,
in search of, because your miracle message
doesn't really matter much.
I happen to know
whether you agree or disagree
that I have it implanted here for you. I also happen to know how to help you find it, so stick around for that.
That's not the point. The point is, as you're trying to figure me out, that maybe you figure you out, and you figure out what's appropriate for you. And
I wanted to talk about.
I spent a lot of time especially in the D section, talking about
priorities. Because lately, I've been feeling like. Did I finish telling you about?
Not appropriate for
my
you.
Studio? No.
I didn't.
And the fact that I'm not here to shove conclusions down your throat. I'm here for you to develop your own conclusions, just like I develop my own conclusions. That's what made me happy. For a long time.
Evolution. I mean, in evolution.
How I'm kind of particular with my choice of words sometimes, especially with words like...
It shows the evolution.
Always and never. And, so I feel if you're going to say never, mean never. So if the thought should ever cross your mind that ray of sunshine is looking kind of normal, looking a little bit ordinary...
It shows the evolution of you.
Never.